The tribal chief is about to lose his right-hand man, and the consequences will shake the entire wrestling world to its core. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because what you're about to witness will leave you absolutely speechless, and you won't want to miss a single second of what comes next. Roman Reigns has dominated WWE for years with an iron fist, commanding respect and loyalty from everyone around him, but now the man who stood by his side through thick and thin is beginning to show signs of rebellion that could change everything we thought we knew about their alliance. Jey Uso has always been the faithful soldier in Roman's empire, accepting every order without question and following the tribal chief into battle with unwavering devotion. Their bond seemed unbreakable as they conquered opponents together, stacking bodies in their wake and becoming one of the most feared forces in all of professional wrestling. The bloodline operated like a well-oiled machine with Roman at the helm, directing traffic and making every decision while Jey executed his commands with precision and intensity. But something shifted recently that nobody saw coming, and it started the moment Roman looked at Jey with eyes that suggested trust was becoming a dangerous luxury. The tension between them began building when Roman demanded more and more from his younger cousin, pushing him to limits he had never reached before and forcing him to take on bigger and bigger challenges. Jey won his matches, stayed loyal, and continued following orders, but the look in his eyes changed ever so slightly each time he returned to Roman's corner. There was a fire starting to burn beneath the surface, a desire for recognition that went beyond just being the tribal chief's lackey. Roman noticed this immediately because he has always been able to read people like an open book, and what he saw in Jey's expression terrified him more than any physical threat ever could. The WWE RAW return that fans have been discussing for months became the perfect storm where everything Roman feared could finally come to fruition. When Jey stepped back into that ring and stood in front of his cousin, something was undeniably different. The way he carried himself suggested he was no longer the same person who would accept every punishment and every order without hesitation. His shoulders were wider, his jaw was set harder, and his eyes carried the intensity of someone who had awakened to his own potential and refused to stay in anyone's shadow any longer. Roman sensed this immediately and began testing Jey's loyalty through subtle actions designed to remind him of his place in the hierarchy. Each gesture, each command, and each expectation became a psychological chess move designed to keep Jey in line or expose him as a threat. The tribal chief has always understood that power is maintained through control, and control is maintained through the manipulation of people's desires and fears. Jey's desire for independence was becoming stronger than his fear of disappointing his cousin, and that's when Roman knew he had a problem on his hands. The heel turn that everyone is anticipating isn't just about Jey switching from good guy to bad guy in the traditional sense. It's about a man finally saying no to the person who has controlled every aspect of his professional life for far too long. Jey is at the crossroads of his career where he either continues to live in Roman's shadow for the rest of his career or he breaks free and becomes his own man, his own force to be reckoned with. The decision he makes in the coming weeks will determine whether he remains a loyal soldier or becomes a dangerous enemy that Roman never anticipated would turn against him. What makes this storyline so compelling is that both men understand what's at stake. Roman knows that losing Jey means losing a significant portion of his power and influence within the WWE universe. Jey knows that betraying Roman means facing the wrath of the entire bloodline and possibly the most dangerous version of the tribal chief that anyone has ever witnessed. Neither man can afford to make a mistake, and neither man can afford to back down because their entire legacies depend on the choices they make right now. The wrestling community is buzzing with theories about when and how the heel turn will officially happen. Some believe it will occur during an explosive confrontation in the ring where Jey snaps and attacks Roman in front of the entire world. Others think the turn will be more calculated, with Jey systematically plotting his independence over several weeks before making his move. There's also speculation that Roman might actually turn first, abandoning Jey and forcing him into a heel turn as a response to being betrayed by the person he trusted most. Whatever happens next will redefine both wrestlers' careers and potentially reshape the entire landscape of WWE's roster. Jey's talent has always been undeniable, but stepping out from under Roman's thumb will give him the opportunity to prove that he was never just a sidekick. He was always a main event superstar waiting for his moment to shine, and that moment appears to be rapidly approaching. The anticipation is building to an unbearable level with every single appearance these two make together because fans know something explosive is coming. Roman Reigns built an empire on control and domination, but every empire eventually crumbles when the people beneath begin to think for themselves. Jey Uso is on the verge of that awakening, and there's nothing Roman can do to stop what's coming because he created this monster through his own actions. The tribal chief insisted on pushing Jey harder, demanding more loyalty, and refusing to give him the recognition he deserves. Now he will reap what he has sown, and the consequences will be far greater than anyone anticipated. The next few weeks of WWE programming will be absolutely critical for both of these men as they navigate this dangerous territory. Every interaction will carry weight, every word will be loaded with meaning, and every action will be scrutinized by millions of fans worldwide. The wrestling world is holding its breath waiting for the moment when Jey finally says enough is enough and walks his own path. This is the kind of storyline that defines careers, creates legacy moments, and gives fans the kind of wrestling entertainment they'll be talking about for decades to come. Make sure you subscribe right now so you never miss any updates on how this incredible saga unfolds.